Once evaluation is completed, then our information is represented in a knowledgeable form. Sometimes we need some reduced format of data or the information, isn't it? Yes, exactly. That is our fourth step, which is nothing but data transformation. So web data is nothing but various web links or different web pages, or we can say hyperlinks. Yes, all this can be mined. Hello everyone, I welcome you all to the very first session that's under Unit 1, which is all about data mining. Yes, this is the first unit under the subject Fundamentals of Data Science, which is with respect to NEP syllabus under MYSURU University. Great. I would request to go back and check the last video, which is all about the fundamentals of data science, where we have discussed the complete syllabus. You can easily understand what is there in that syllabus, and even the question paper patterns, reference book, all those things have been discussed in that session. And in today's session, we will be starting with Unit 1. Great. Over here, my name is Deepa Kutnikar. I'm working as an assistant professor under Department of Computer Science, Vidhyaashram, Temple of Excellence, Mysuru. Let's see what is the agenda of today's session. As I told, we will be discussing regarding data mining. Yes, we will be starting with the introduction, like understanding what generally the data mining is all about. Then further, we will be understanding the definition that is derived with respect to data mining. Let me tell you, this will coin one of important questions with respect to your exam point of view too. Next, we will be understanding knowledge discovery in data mining. There is something called as KDD, which we will be understanding that in today's session. Later, we will be discussing like different kinds of data that can be mined in data mining. Also, later we will be discussing the data mining functionalities, like different patterns that we can utilize with respect to data mining. Yes, this is all about today's session. So let's move forward and understand what is data mining in simple words. In general words, data mining we can correlate to the gold mining process too. Yes, mining in the sense what we will be doing. So we will be in search of gold during mining, correct? So yes, exactly in the same way here in data mining, we will be digging thoroughly. We will be digging on to what? To extract few valuable information, valuable insights, or some different patterns with respect to data. Why is it? Why we have to do this? Because by doing this, we can exactly correlate the decision, or we can help in making better decisions. Yes, absolutely. If we consider some example of predictions, this prediction will be dependent on different mining techniques, correct? Yes, if we want to predict something, then we have to go to past. Past in the sense we have to dig the information like what is there before and what we can expect in our present scenario. So all these things are correlated. So by using this data mining, we can easily say, yes, I have seen the data, I have studied the past cases, and depending on the past cases, I can take a better decision for today. So this is all about data mining. All right, let's see what it is. It's very similar to searching of gold in a mine, but instead of gold, with respect to data mining, what we are in search of? We are in search of useful information that is hidden in some data. Great, right? Yes. Now next, let's see like what is the advantage of digging the data or useful information. Yes, by doing so, we will be helping organizations in understanding their customers. We can also help them in improving their process, their operations. Also, it will be very helpful in order to make the predictions about the future trends. So this is a basic introduction of data mining. I believe it's very simple. As we understood, regarding basic introduction of data mining. Now it's time to understand the definition of data mining. So let's move forward and understand exactly like what is the definition of data mining. So we can say data mining is defined as the process of extracting the valuable, hidden as well as unknown patterns or relationships and insights from large data sets by using what? By using various methods, which is none other than machine learning, or we can also say we can use or utilize the statistics as well as the database systems. So this is a basic definition of data mining. As we understood regarding data mining definition, now it's a time to understand knowledgeful data discovery, how the valuable data is recognized as well as represented. So for that, let's move with the next slide, which is none other than knowledge discovery in data mining. So this is a complete process wherein it starts from data warehouse. So this data warehouse you will study in depth in your unit 2. But for now, you can just understand data warehouse is nothing but a integrated system where you'll be getting data of different systems, okay, wherein you can easily extract few information which is required for us for that point of time. So that is with respect to data warehouse. Great, right? Now, what's the first step? So there will be some data warehouse, and from that data warehouse, what we will be doing? We will be selecting few information or data. All right. What's next? So that selected data, which is called as target data. So that target data has to be pre-processed according to our requirement, right? So we supposed to understand that instead of considering the data directly and putting it to process, if we pre-process that information or the data, then we can expect that our data will reach to that end with a great efficiency. There will be no loss of data. So for that sake, the pre-processing stage is important. All right, we have pre-processed the data. What's next? We have to transform our data, correct? So here is the next process, that's transformation. For the pre-processed data, we will be doing transformation. So what is the information that we get? That is transformed data, right? So for that transformed data, up next, what we can do is we can mine the data, we can dig the required data. Now it will become more precise, isn't it? It will become more precise. From that precise information, we can easily pick the required information. So that's what we will be doing, that is data mining. Once the mining is completed for that information, we will be evaluating. We will evaluate like the mined information or the data is the correct data that we need, or we have to select or choose some other data. So we can say that evaluation is very similar to, we can correlate with the data mining too. Once we have mined our data, we'll get some stones and that has to be tested, correct? Whether it is a gold, what is the purity of that stone. So all these things we'll do, isn't it? That's what even here we will be doing the same thing. Once evaluation is completed, then our information is represented in a knowledgeable form. So that is knowledgeable representation of the required information. So this is a complete knowledge discovery process which is included in data mining. If this question is asked to you, then you have to write this diagram wherein you can explain each step in depth. Okay, so let's move forward and see that. Yes, over here. Now let's see in depth like what are the steps that is being included in knowledge discovery process. We have seen in a pictorial format. Now let's see in a stepwise form. So KDD forms an important process, turning, wherein we will turn the raw data into some useful information, or we can say in a knowledgeable representation format. The first steps include data cleaning. Data cleaning, wherein this step includes removing of unnecessary data, or if there is any errors with respect to your data, that error can be cleaned. Or sometimes what happens with respect to the data, there will be duplicate information. So that duplicate informations will be verified in this data cleaning step. So that is our first step. Next is data integration. So as we know from our data warehouse, which is an integration of all the systems, from that warehouse, we will be picking some information from the data warehouse, right? So for that information, after data cleaning, what we can do is we can integrate those informations together, which is nothing but combining the information from different sources. Yes, once this integration is done, next is a very necessary step, which is nothing but data selection. Yes, as the name itself says, specifies only the required or the necessary data will be selected. So this is a important criteria, isn't it? Yes, this is our third step. Next, moving forward, can you guess which is our next step? Yes, which this was discussed in our previous diagram. All right. Next step is all about data transformation. Yes, data transformation, which is nothing but converting the data or the information in some useful form, or even we can say it in a format where we require with respect to our operation or the final end result. Sometimes for some end results, we need normalized data, or sometimes we need some reduced format of data or the information, isn't it? Yes, exactly. That is our fourth step, which is nothing but data transformation. Next comes our priority step, which is nothing but data mining. Yes, in this process, what happens is we will be applying different algorithms in order to represent our efficient data or required data. So that is data mining. Next is a pattern evaluation. By applying different algorithms, we will be resulting with a patterns from data mining step. Now for that pattern, we have to evaluate like this pattern which we have collected or selected. Is this the right one, or we have to go with some other one? So that is with respect to the sixth step, which is pattern evaluation, where we can go forward and only select the useful as well as meaningful information. Meaningful as well as useful information or the patterns. Then comes our most wanted or required step, which is knowledgeable presentation. Now we have started from mining, we have applied different algorithms, we have transferred our information, then we have got some patterns. From that pattern, what we can do is we can represent our information in a very useful form, or we can say the format where even a person who doesn't know anything regarding that topic, even he can just see that representation and he can get some information like, oh, okay, this is this, and if we do this, this is the outcome. In this way, he can go through. Yes, that is a knowledgeable representation where we can represent our information in the form of different charts, or we can even represent them in the form of statistical information, as well as by using different set of rules. So this is knowledge presentation. So these are the various steps that is included in knowledge discovery of data sets, or we can say database. Yes, this is our second topic with respect to Unit 1. So we have successfully completed it, and I believe it is very, very simple, where you can draw a diagram and explain what are the steps included in it. Up next, let's move forward, and now let's concentrate on different kinds of data that is available. Okay. Up next, let's move with the next topic, where our intention or concentration is completely dependent on the kind of data that is required, or the kind of data that we use for operations. Great. So next topic is all about kinds of data that can be mined. So whenever we consider data, the next thing that comes into our mind is none other than a simple text data, right? Whatever it may be, like it may be a simple text or a chat message or a document, an article, it is considered under text data. Then the next thing is a multimedia data, which includes audio, video, images, everything, isn't it? Next is a web data. Web data in the sense we will be utilizing different web pages, hyperlinks, or different web blogs. So all this can be mined and it comes under the web data. Next is a sequential data. Yes, sequential data is nothing but a set of the data what is represented in a sequence form. So this is few different kinds of data which are available. Let's move forward. Next, what we can say is a relational data which includes complete rows, columns and all. So that we can consider it has a relational data. Next is data warehouse. Here, as the name itself says, warehouse, it includes large historical multi-dimensional data sets. So that is our data warehouse. Next is transactional data, which includes simple ATM transaction data or even the transactional data of our e-commerce or with respect to money and all. So yes, that comes under transactional data. Next type of data are spatial or geographic data, which includes maps, coordinates, or the geographic images. Next one is a temporal or time series data. Yes, time related or time series data, the first thing comes into our mind is none other than stocks, correct? Yes, these stock prices or weather information all are included in this temporal or time series data. So these are the different kinds of data that can be mined. Now let's see the data mining functionalities, or we can also say the kinds of patterns that can be mined. Yes, it will be starting from classification of information. Classification in the sense we will be categorizing the information or the data into the predefined classes. Next step after classification, what we can expect is a clustering. Clustering is none other than grouping of data or the information. Once we have classified the information, then we will be grouping like, yes, this is a required information and this information is not required at this point of time. So all these things can be done where under clustering. Next is association analysis. After grouping the data, we can form a association wherein we can verify whether the considered or the target data what we have selected can form some relation between a data or not. So that is done under association analysis. Then comes the last step, which is none other than anomaly detection. Is there any issues or some unusual patterns which are detected? Yes, these things can be known under this anomaly detection. So this forms different data mining functionalities. So you can just consider and explain them with respect to the question. So this was all about today's session where we have started with our unit 1. I believe you have enjoyed a lot and learned a lot. Also, the data mining formed one of interesting topic as well as a subject for you all, isn't it? All right, great. Let's move forward and understand like what are the topics that is remaining and what are the things that we discuss in our next session. So in our next session, we will be understanding KDD. What is the difference between knowledge discovery and data mining? Next, we will also be learning the difference between the database management system as well as data mining. Then we also will be discussing with respect to DM techniques, that is data mining techniques. Further, the different issues or challenges as well as applications of data mining. So these are the things that we discuss in our upcoming session. So this was all about today's session. Thank you.